Quick, let's find Kostya.
Lava's rising. We have to stop this now.
Oh, you made it. I thought all of you Ederans were killed when the volcano erupted. Help me destroy this witch. We can't risk someone turning it and opening the gates. If the keep falls so that we might live, so be it.
Interesting question, Envoy. Because it looks like he's doing the opposite of what Mihala asked.
Marius? Abaddon's balls, is that really you?
Why do people keep asking me that? Looks like you're trying to jam that winch and keep the sluice gates from opening.
You have been gone a long time, Marius. Things are worse than when you left.
And flooding the keep with lava will fix it?
We can't survive here in the Tusks any longer. We can barely feed ourselves. Medicine is scarce. The damn keep is collapsing around us. I risk my own life down there to be certain most of them are saved. If the keep falls so that we might live, so be it.
He has a point, but it's not worth letting Solace fall to prove it.
You, of all people, are speaking in favor of the suffocating grasp of tradition.
I'm talking about not destroying our ancestral home just because you don't like Nandru. You're just as blinded by those traditions as Mihala. Have the courage to leave if you want, but don't force everyone else to.
Then my conviction only grows stronger, Envoy. Nandru never wanted what was best for us. He built us a tomb and abandoned us to it. Do not speak his name to me as if it could mean anything to you.
A life for rubble, blood for the prison of old ways. We twine.
Stand down, Kostya. This just isn't your day.
Envoy, I understand that Kostya grates on the nerves, but perhaps we should...
So be it. And you are so close. The entrance to the garden is just beyond this door. I always knew it would come to this. Arms up!
Someone's eager to meet us.
Behind him! Earth and rock!
Nice job! Everybody all right? It's done. Solace is safe. Thank the gods.
Did the keep look as confining before? keep is beautiful. Like a gilded cage.
job, everyone.
Broken throne, symbol of Wodoka the Oathbinder. She's nothing if not a bit dramatic.
You're back! You found him? Imprisoned? That must be why he wasn't writing. He's going to get a talking to when he returns. Madiko, this expedition is cursed. Where did I go wrong?
You sent people out into the wilds with no training and no one to guide them. Maybe take one moment to actually think next time?
Perhaps not well enough. I hoped their excitement would make up for their inexperience. If nothing else, my map is very nearly finished now, so some good has come of the expedition after all. Thank you, Amico. You've helped me shape the course of history. Come back to the shop anytime.
You did good, Envoy. I'll never get used to watching you do that. If it weren't so deadly and disturbing to look at, it'd be breathtaking.
Much as I want to get to the garden, I'm loath to swim through that. I don't think this broken bridge will help us. Didn't we read about another way into the garden? The other path is hidden well.
Nandra, problem you'd be surprised how far a resemblance to Nandra will take you in Solace. Play your cards right, and it might get you through the door.
Just...
Look out there!
Oh, big mistake!
It's the envoy!
Back. Do you have the key? Will you let me go?
Gods bless you, outsider. I won't forget this. I won't
My days here are long past. Thank you again. Take this. It's not much. But if I can further repay the favor in this life or the next, I will. Let's try for this life. I'm honestly hoping my next life is far from here.
Good. This will give them a fighting chance now.
I feel crazy saying this, but Kostya was right. We should have let Solace Keep fall.
Crazy is one word for it. You really think you can just burn down someone's ancestral home?
Dearie, the keep isn't a home. It's a prison. And now the ParaGrim will never escape.
Solace is my home. I still don't get why any of you feel like you have a say in this.
But you left.
Because I chose to. Kostya doesn't get to make that decision for everybody.
If Kostya doesn't, Mihala will.
Civilization, as we know it, hasn't existed in the Living Lands for very long. We need to preserve what history...
Darling, you know I hate to think of losing all of that history more than anyone. But think of what they could have gained. Maxim left the Republics, and it allowed animancers in Fjord to thrive.
Destroying our home is not starting something new.
You really think everyone in Solace is there willingly? Amalia and her people took up arms and turned to banditry, and they still weren't allowed to leave. If anything, I imagine Mihala and her traditionalists will only make it harder to leave now. You know your own mind.
True. And you've a date with the gods soon.
Enough talking in circles. I, for one, could use a long rest.
Right. I've seen Mount Forgia erupt before, but... I don't know what really happened, but... Oh, they overreacted. I see. Just a tiny baby god throw... Poor thing. Anyway. If I must.
I'm starting to suspect that every single leader in the living... Truly, is there no vetting process? But we should check on Marius. Well, of course, I'm not suggesting it's always a fix for issues. But those poor ParaGrim are clearly prisoners of their traditions. I think getting rid of the keep could have helped more than they realized. I do not envy the ParaGrim in any case. Meeting that council gave me a new appreciation for Vidaru. Barrett's balls. What a... We're losing focus on the important thing. Oh, come on. How can I... Don't mind if I do.
Going diving into ancient ruins?
You could... I agree. Even if Solace isn't going anywhere, wherever you go, you break people out of their habit. Fate doesn't ask us what we want. Wherever that power comes from, whether it's your heritage or political stat, but at least you keep... Thanks for talking. Let me get this straight. You spoke to the spirit of What did he say? And... Oh. I take it that wasn't what... I should have seen this coming. Never listen to the dead. They're cynical, full of regret. Thankfully, you're still alive. What happened to Nandru was ages ago. Plenty of time to reconsider one's choices. No one is closer to Sapadal than you are. Nandru lost that privilege when he died. which means you alone can judge the god of the... That's perfectly valid. Gods, for what it's worth, I think you're going to be fine. I wish I could say the same for the living. Pleasant dreams. Solace has a few... Thank you for letting Petru go free. Aren't we all? Whether or not Petru is successful as an animancer, he has... And it's good to know someone out there is defending his... Not before I've done some reading.
Envoy? Blacked out at that Audra and the lava tubes beneath Solace. Right. I actually believe you. I bet it was. You could finally complain to someone about all the... Face, people in Solace always claim they're speaking the word of Nandru. And here you are. Doesn't even really matter what he said if you ask me. Huh. Blessed it. Envoy, what do you need? Pleasant dreams.
Kai, darling.
Milady.
It will sunder all the living lands if we do not put a stop to it.
I know. I felt the lives lost.
It is inexcusable. The forces of nature must be kept in balance. This abuse cannot go unpunished. Power has a cost. If this is how it rules over its domain, it has shown that it cannot be trusted to wield it.
Regrettable. It could have learned from us.
Cannot reach us, nor we it. The damnable Audra separates us. We cannot hide forever. Some other way to circumvent them.
No.
No. What do you mean?
We are too late. I sense a great shift in the Audra. One of our siblings has moved with terrible strength. What have they done?
May the hunt begin.
There. Adds a little culture to the camp, doesn't it?
Romantically, I mean.
Right. I knew this would come up eventually.
I only bring...
What do you need? What? Don't remember. Make sure you know you've done so. Right. You left. Right. At least now I don't have to teach.
Let me think. I only bring it up because romance is good for the soul.
So is finding a good pile of deer saka on it.
We'll get them next time, dear.
Folk is complaining about the lack of ingredients again.
Sweet, I've never been happier to see the keep
I told
standing
you.
tall.
I knew that a deer was a blessing.
I'm going to crawl into bed and sleep away.
Turns out, I did at supper that night. You just never listened to me.
Okay, come on. What do we...
We're alive! We're alive!
Yes, yes, calm down. Why did you expect anything else when
No. Where is it? I still can't believe...
What happened to Eder? Is everyone all right?
It doesn't matter. An oath is an oath. I swore it, and so did my people. Tell me about the keep instead. I don't care, Envoy. Keep your blasphemies to yourself. Tell me...
It is... thank you. I cannot explain how afraid I was for my people and our home. Perhaps so. Either way, I understand here. I once was this artifact's custodian, but I failed in protecting the keep. This belongs to one who has proven capable of guarding my people. I wish so much that things had gone different. Marius, could I speak to you?
Right. Did she just ask that? Or am I having another nightmare? Good. Let's save the hugs and tears for another time. Okay, let's hear it.
I'm so glad you're safe and that you're surrounded by good people.
All right. Waiting for the but?
There's no but waiting. That's all I wanted to say. I am genuinely happy you found friendship, Marius. You always deserved more than the world gave you. That's all I...
Well, you've always given me more than I deserved.
It wasn't...
I've heard we owe you our thanks. Praise be to Abaddon that I don't have to leave the forge behind. What can I do for you?
Fíjate.
What?
As sure as you banish the entropy
worship
from our
wood.
life. Nothing good. Come.
You mean the way I? Yeah. Well,
Blessed are we by Nandru's foresight. For it is thanks to his vision. So you would have us stay here forever?
Outsider! I've never seen someone so
Solace has not fought against an organized enemy in a very long time.
The murmurs I hear are troubling.
Very well. I shall pay closer attention to my company, casual banter.
Do so.
Very image of Nandru indeed. God send you at the most opportune time. The work, please.
Outsiders in the halls now.
So long.
Sansa, how did you make it out here?
Across the Living Lands.
The envoy. Is that you?
This is just cleanup. Just someone get... Talk to you later, Envoy.
Try metaphysically, but put... I intend to send them any. Get beside, don't... You too.
I was wondering, what do... So...
We should... You liberate... That's... No doubt it would have gone. If not for you, Sapadal would still be pacing there, which means you have leverage over a god. That's a lot. Sapadal's imprisonment shaped this. We cannot... Emerald Stair was... Maybe you'll... I hope you don't mind me bringing it up. The subject matter is a bit much for our Just be careful what you wish for. I want you to know this has been an unforgettable experience. Wherever we go from here, I'm grateful to have been a part of it. Until next time. Pleasant dreams.
When we strike as ParaGrim, we strike as one.
What? What's the... They broke some glass, but they didn't think I was worth it.
Right now?
If you're looking for survivors, a few of us fled to the Balrog. I'm not sure. I saw Sapiento. I am... You always were a forgiving friend.
We should move. Let's hope the Garrote hasn't made it to the...
Envoy, wait! Before you... I took some supplies when I ran. I'll... Marched in with no warning. I couldn't think. I just ran.
Why is there snow here?
You're here? It's gotta be real.
A familiar face.
She made it snow in Shatterscar.
We meet again, Envoy. Paradise burns. Thanks to Ludwine and the Steel Garrote.
It wouldn't be the first time she's come back.
It's remarkable how hard you mortals fight for causes that'll be forgotten within centuries. Still, I do think the world has been irrevocably, if minimally, changed by your actions. It is indeed. I'll admit, Now we're back to simple mortal drama. Perhaps. A new god being set loose on the world is certain to have consequences. Mostly, I'm curious about whether you think you've made the right choice. Ah, that mortal I am... mortal. Goodbye. And ya...
Oh, yes.
Envoy, how did you... I don't know. Where did you come from? You just appeared out of nowhere. Ah, your face. We all wondered whose godlike you were. But listen to me, Ram. As much as you can. Be good to the Living Lands. Yes, but more than that, I'd just like for us to live lives that are free. For us. Not Adir to determine our fates. It's going to be up to you, Envoy. I know you have much to do.
How does one become a scout?
What? You looking to pick up the craft?
Oh, no.
Envoy? Is it really you? Mihala told us you went into some place called the Garden to seek a god?
When you didn't return, we took you for dead.
What did you see there? The god you felt in Nokutadek?
The origin of the Dream Scourge? It was the act of a god this whole time?
Everyone, please, please. We could get to the bottom of this if you would only let them speak.
It's been weeks, Envoy. What happened?
Zapadal was responsible for the Dream Scourge. Their rage, their confusion, their fear.
But the plague isn't over. Dream Thralls still litter Shatterscarp.
There won't be any new infections. We've put a stop to that for good. Unfortunately, there's little we can do for those already in the grip of the Dream Scourge. We can give them comfort, nothing more. This will be a process. The Dream Scourge was never going to simply go away overnight.
I suppose it stands to reason. I found that a quick fix is often anything but. What of this god, then? What does it mean that you freed them? Ludwig had intimated that this land grew a new god. But how can that be?
Giada and I have some theories about the nature of the Adra in the Living Lands.
I'd say we're past the point of theorizing.
If the Adra here is a closed system, like a terrarium for our souls, then a gradual accumulation of essence could coalesce into a being in the beyond.
Much like the formation of gemstones. All it takes is time and the right application of pressure.
Wodka no doubt saw Sapadal as a threat to her authority. So, she killed the godless and imprisoned their god.
I assume it is this god we have to thank for the roots tearing apart Paradise? They erupted from the earth the moment those bastards stood up their first siege tower.
Naku Tedek was riven with those things, not to mention what they did to the land.
We saw similar destruction at Nakuku Bell. If these roots and the Dream Scourge are the work of a god, and the gods thought it best to imprison this god, how could you let such a creature go free?
Let's hope they don't decide to further amend themselves by coming for our heads.
It was Adir's arrival that disturbed Sapadal. We'll have nothing to fear from this god once we expel you from our lands.
Sapadal's power ravaged my people. I don't know that I can ever trust it.
Keeping watch over Sapadal was a sacred task Nandru gave us when he left. For that reason alone, my wardens owe them their allegiance.
Well, whatever happens, I suppose we can't put the godling back in the bottle now. But come, we have more pressing matters to attend to. The Steel Garrote have attacked Paradise. Inquisitor Ludwig has already joined the battle. She must have traveled like the wind to get here so fast.
You did. I kicked her corpse when you weren't looking. Just to be sure.
Well, she's seen better days, but you wouldn't know it judging by how she fights.
Ludwig's plowed through the militia like a knife through warm butter.
All right, let's keep the similes to ourselves.
Regrettably, she's not in the business of making exceptions for people she deems Oathbreaker. So long as her passion for Wodika lives, so too will her spirit.
Then we destroy her faith, and the rest of her will follow. I have a theory about this. Let's talk at camp if you want to hear it. But I think we can kill her.
Oh, good. That will be easy.
It is not, I think, impossible. Well, you might not believe me, but I didn't want any of this to happen. It was Ludwig who called for the attack.
I didn't hear an answer, Ambassador.
She and her Steel Garrote laid siege to the city, shortly after you beat her to the garden.
Because a victory here would discourage resistance elsewhere. The better question is, why didn't you stop her?
Excuse me? She's a 7-foot-tall skeleton powered by her devotion to the goddess of retribution. This isn't my fault.
Sure. Just blame the dead woman. Very mature.
Who else should I blame exactly? Our envoy, perhaps? For not stopping Ludwig in the tusks?
You could start with blaming your own incompetence. Why are you treating him with kid gloves when Paradise cries out for help?
Enough. I've heard your concerns. We cannot change it now. The Inquisitor was so convinced the Living Lands would unite against Adir that she's nearly made it true. One people, one law, one true God. That's Ludwig's vision for the Living Lands. That's what Ludwig thinks. Adir doesn't revere Wodika as fervently as it once did. Worship of Mogrin, Berith, even Aethys has gained a foothold. Many no longer trust that the gods are listening. Some question whether they guide the wheel at all. The Empire lost its foothold in the Eastern Reach. The well-bred avoid child-rearing in pursuit of cosmopolitan pleasures. The Church is weak against them. In a world of soul against soul, Ludwig believes we have lost ours. The Empire must change, or it will die. I'm afraid you and I both know she is not the only one in the Empire who even the Emperor can see, in some sense. Why else would we be here? What passes between Ludwig and her men? But if I had to guess, this was the alternative.
Your empire is doing what it does best. Stamping out dissent until surrender is the only...
Your republics are hardly any different. Their intentions in the Deadfire were certainly not pure.
As you say, we left the republics for a reason.
Ludwig agrees.
You can say what you want, but you're still trying...
You think I'll ignore what I've seen with my own eyes? The Empire has brought us nothing but chaos and suffering.
Careful, Envoy. Eder may still have a part to play, but don't...
I've answered your question. Ludwig has sent a message to the Emperor informing him of her attack. He will send advisors and reinforcements swiftly in response. What will his representatives find when they arrive? Before you face Ludwig, you should know what you're fighting for. But whatever you decide, understand, the days of the frontier are done. Eder will come. Oh, Envoy, no. Do not suggest that lightly. Think of the Emperor. There would be reprisals. Ones which this conclave could not survive, fractured as you are. Not unless you came together and formed a nation of your own. It would be difficult. No, impossible. I'm certain you would fail. Think of your people, all of you. Think of the lives at stake.
Rest into bounty. Does the winter frost dissuade the seeds? Many fruits on our boughs. We graft many leaves into strength.
We deserve our autonomy, even if we must fight for it. Anything less would be surrender.
Fleeing someone else's laws and authority is one thing, setting up your own is another. We're an island of misfits and dissidents. We'll still have to surrender some of our autonomy, and we won't agree on what that means overnight. We'll be vulnerable. Without allies, other powers will see us as ripe for the picking. Know that this is a hard road to walk.
We were fine before Eder came. We'll be fine when they're gone.
I think we ran things perfectly fine before your kin got here.
Of course. The Living Lands would retain its own laws under a grave appointed by the Emperor. The grave would be expected to promote and develop the Living Lands to our mutual benefit. They would divide the island into administrative districts and see them governed by mayors appointed from the local communities. The island would provide tribute in the form of resources and taxes, and in time. The Empire, I should note, is nearly always at war. In return, the Living Lands would enter Eder's sphere of influence, and should outside nations attempt to invade, we would come to the Grave Room's aid. Naturally, that would be the Emperor's decision. Only the strong survive the frontier. I used to believe that was Ludwig. But you... Of course. The Living Lands would become an extension of the soldiers bearing the flag of Adir would be garrisoned in every town. They would be paid in Ederan shelling and speak only the Ederan language. Their roads would be smooth Ederan roads. Their medicine would be our customs would become their, turned toward a common purpose. No one, not Rawatai, not this island would be safe for the first time in it.
The traditions of Solace are what give my wardens their strength. Without them, we would buckle under the weight of the tusks. I would sooner walk my people into the acid sea than trust an Ederan to hold me up.
What need does Thirdborn have for the protections of Ederan soldiers? We have cannons, cliffs, and wills forged in the storms of Rawatai. And should Rawatai come for us, we will rain hellfire down on their heads. Your Ederans could do no better.
Under Ederan rule, your countrymen would strip my people of everything that makes them unique, all in the name of spiritual hygiene. I cannot betray them like that.
Well, let's not twiddle our thumbs while Paradis burns. Oh, gods have mercy.
Solace and her wardens stand vigil with the Living Lands.
By grit and steel, Thirdborn stands with the Living Lands.
Fjord and her animancers stand with the Living Lands.
We deserve this opportunity. Thank you for believing in us.
Fighting a battle together is easy. I just hope everyone's willing to stick it out when it comes to the politics.
God, they made the right decision for once.
Finally, some sense permeates the proceedings.
On your head be the consequences. That leaves the matter of Ludwine and the Steel Garrote. She will never surrender, Envoy. You must kill her, or we will lose Paradis, and eventually the island.
The Living Lands will never be free until we break the chain around our necks. Ludwine must die her final death.
She better say her goodbyes while she can.
I'm proud to fight at your side, Envoy. One last time.
Let's get to work then. We've got a walking corpse to bury.
The Paradis militia will be at your back. Give her no quarter. The future waits for you.
Show them that the Living Lands will not be broken across Vodka's knee.
We will send reinforcements to help you reclaim the Eastern Gate. From there, work your way to the main plaza. May all the gods of Eora and the Living Lands protect you.
Let's take back the city together. Show the Steel Garrote how the Living Lands takes care of its own.
Time to stop the Steel Garrote.
Can't sleep? We're going into battle for the soul of the Living Lands. Rallying under the banners of the Paradis. Your Emperor will not be pleased. Indeed. When a godlike fights in battle, people take note of which side. The Adirans will doubt your loyalty. The locals will doubt your commitment. This is the first time you were told to pick a side. All we ask, from what I understand, your ambassador is very persuasive. For a politician like him, losing a battle is not a defeat. When he promises you the world, don't listen. Time for you to get... I've been thinking about the Inquisition. A Death Guard clings to their existence by force of will. Ludwine is held together by... If only it were that. Faith is the foundation of her reality. Faith in. But according to her faith, Sapadal should not exist. A new god independent of hers? By that logic, you shouldn't exist either. And yet here you are. Yes, but she's weaker than she knows. If not in body, then in spirit. You are the godlike of a heretical god. A contradiction to her reality. Can you imagine how much she needs you to die? Her entire worldview who knows? Maybe that uncertainty is enough to make her more... Or maybe not. Whatever happens. So imagine... Granted, but thanks to... I can't... Agree, but to... Is it really that obvious? No matter who wins or loses, the Living Land... In my heart, I know that's a good thing. Life is impossible without change. I just want... If I must. I can't...
You Right. I've been in a lot of dangerous situations, putting my life on the line for some... I'll be ready, Envoy. We're about to go out there and risk our lives for... what? We might die, all to determine who sleeps in the nicest house in Paradise until the island decides it's time for a change. It's fine. Right. Careful you don't get stuck in all that sap.
That's done? Who's hungry? Let's finish this.
We see you.
Show me what you got. Stop right there.
I was just getting warmed up.
What was that?
Here we go.
What's your right?
Hey!
I'll hang back and watch the gate.
Go on.
For our freedom!
Finish what we started.
Right there. Protect the honor.
Come on! Come on!
Isam!
On your right!
Who's there?
Behind you! Dream with us!
This one's mine.
In the eyes!
Hold it.
Hello, I can take care of the plaza. Party in the brush!
There you are!
So, you survived the garden. Did you come all this way just to try your luck again? To kill me more efficiently than last time? You'll get your chance.
Then what are you waiting for?
Look around, Envoy. Heelguard should have... He failed. Order is meant to be imposed by...
Her order wields sharp steel. She must set down her blade.
You can tell Wodaka yourself once we've sent you back to...
Don't insult my intelligence or my commitment to the cause. Treaties can be burned. As for you, Sapadal's chains are broken, which means your soul is in their grasp. I don't know how deeply you've been compromised, Envoy. That's what they want you to think. Steel yourself, Envoy.
We would not welcome her death. there is still ample shade for her beneath our tree.
You will. You must. You have no choice. Face me and die with honor, or fall to your knees and die as a coward. How you die doesn't matter, but you will die. Every vestige of Sapadal must be wiped from this earth. The Burned Queen demands it.
We are a challenge to her authority. She is afraid of what we mean.
Pathetic. You believe this is about power, Envoy. And beyond the... Stop. Look, her. Stop. I do. Hop.
We are a challenge to her authority. She is afraid of what we mean.
Blasphemy. Sapadal is a clot in the heart of the world. What should they matter to the true gods of Eora? Your god will meet their end just as soon as I'm through with you. Hear me, Envoy. I am the avatar of the Burned Queen, the goddess of retribution. I am her sword arm, her will in the world. And so long as I can fight, I will be her champion.
But she fails, and fails, and fails her god. How long until Wodica finds a new avatar?
Temporary setbacks. The war for the Living Lands can still be won. And if I must stand alone against you, the militia, and every farmer you've given a sword, then I will. I will die 1,000 times for my queen, if that's what she desires. I've done all that I could. She sees that. She must. I believed we were alike, Envoy. That when the time came for you to prove your loyalty, you would choose Eder. I believed the dream of our future, of our resurgent empire, would move you as it does me. And if that failed, I believed the Burn Queen would stop you. Yet here you stand before me, my enemy, unopposed by the gods. Why?
The worm of doubt gnaws at her soul. Where was Wodica when she needed her most? Where is she now?
The Burned Queen has always had my back against the world. I don't need anything else. I can still prevail. I must. I feel her fire in me. I know I do.
Do you?
Wodica, my lady!
Where are you?
No answer.
No! It's not true!
Shame. Suffocating shame.
Stop! I can't! No! 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 Forgive me! Ulrika!
Wherever Ludwine is now, she must be seething.
Of course, we'd be happy to kill her again, if needed.
She's done for. But we're not. Whatever's next, we'll face it. Together.
Gods, you're all gonna make me sick. But carry on.
Unraveled at last. We no longer feel her wire against our flesh. We are free always. We are free forever.
Silence falls over Paradise, as though the city is holding its breath. Then you hear it, the ringing of a distant bell, the waving of banners, and cheers of victory. After a short and bloody conflict, the dust has finally begun to settle. You feel Sapadal close to your thoughts, stirring with interest. The god of the living lands is observing this moment, unfettered by confusion or fear. For the first time in centuries, they understand. The Paradise militia rallies to you, the outsider who defended them in their hour of need. Whatever happens next, you have won their confidence. You take a moment to reflect on the calm. Not so long ago, you arrived at these shores on a simple errand, which turned out to be anything but simple. The Dream Scourge is over, and the island has been cleansed of plague. A time of healing and mourning follows. People look to you for answers about the source of the affliction. You tell them the truth, how the plague came from a power beyond mortal understanding, and how it is finally at peace. Thanks to you, the Living Lands has escaped Ederan oppression. The free settlements unite under a common banner and begin the fraught process of negotiating new traditions and values. The Empire withdraws. The frontier remains wild, but not for long. Fugitives no more. The rebels of Paradise return to their home and to other free settlements, bringing their skills and secrets wherever needed. For once, they have a future. The Oracle Sargemus emerges from the Temple of Aethys, unburdened by any purpose but for the one you gave him. He follows the dawn across all the nations of the world, searching for every child of the gods yet left behind. The few he finds are bitter but grateful to know more of their kind. When his energy flags, he recalls the compassion you extended him, and he returns to his work with renewed devotion. His new labors cannot fill the hole left by his god's passing from the world, but they give him succor during the long hours of the night. He dies alone in the Deerwood, beloved of no one, but remembered by all he knew. He does not forget you. The refugees of Emerald Stair resettle in Thirdborn, bringing their skills and research to aid the local community. What starts as an uneasy partnership blossoms into a bond of trust. Through shared adversity, they find common ground. In time, the people of Emerald Stair return to their city of Fior Messiverno. Research yields new developments in the struggle against nature. Technology is shared among the united settlements. The Empire cannot get in the way of progress. For the people of Shatterscarp, independence is bittersweet. Those who cannot withstand the grief inflicted by Ringgrim's spell leave the settlements, vanishing into the wilderness. Those who remain find themselves forced to cooperate with others, often begrudgingly. With so many dead, the need to stave off hunger outweighs any distaste for certain trading partners. Solace Keep clings to its long-held isolation at first. But after mourning her friend Kostya, Mihala reluctantly deigns to open the doors of the fortress. Some dwarves greet newcomers with glee. Others still mutter darkly about outsiders. Mihala flounders in her earliest negotiations with the rest of the Living Lands, but slowly learns compromise. She develops a taste for Valian sweets. For the first time in many years, Kai feels an agreeable restlessness. Not to flee, not to drift, but to venture. He visits the distant shores Tama told him about, and savors the modern marvels, ancient wonders, and breathtaking expanses he beholds. His heart swells, not with grief, but with awe. There is so much to discover, and he will spend his years chasing all of the joy and beauty the world has to offer him. With many of his anxieties and lifelong fears addressed, Marius now feels very differently than he did when he first met the envoy. Still far more comfortable in the wilds than among people, he nonetheless finds that his worries about the unknown were merely self-protection against the traumas of his childhood. Armed with this knowledge, he finds himself more capable of living in civilization, and far less fearful of his home in Galawain's tusks. While he never regains his former place as a warden of Solace, he spends his time traveling between Solace and Thirdborn, acting as a stubborn ambassador between the two. Giada continues to improve as an animancer. She dedicates her work to the spiritual health of the Living Lands, nurturing instead of exploiting. Others follow her example, seeking her tutelage from lands far and wide. In the years to come, rumors spread of a secret society gathering in the wilderness, where animancers work in harmony with nature. The dream of Fjormes Iverno lives on in her. In a past life, Yachtsley was given a task: protect the history and knowledge of the godless. Now, many lifetimes later, she continues upholding that oath. She moves into the library in the garden, spending her days poring over the clay tablets there. But not even the letters from, and rare visit to, her lover help ease the loneliness that fills her days. Freed from torment for the first time in centuries, Sopadal turns their prodigious curiosity to the people that shaped them. They observe the ways their people live, and they think deeply about what they see. Though they flinch away from moments of violence, and they grieve souls returned to them too soon, the rage that once shook cities to rubble no longer rules them. Instead, they come to you with questions. They want to understand. After a time, they begin tentatively to garden. Where they can, they improve the lives of Kith, and the suffering that troubled them is reduced, if never fully eradicated. Their grief compels them to love, and they love unreservedly, with the power of a god. Sopadal pours a fragment of their power into the statue they claimed from the temple of Aethys. Newly embodied, they roam the Living Lands and learn to experience the world as Kith do. Their first attempts at locomotion are clumsy, and a stand of innocent trees is violently returned to the wheel. But as their confidence grows, so does their grace. Soon, they are bounding across the plains of eastern Dawnshore, leaping the river gorge in Emerald Stair,
scaling the shark's teeth of Shatterscarp, and fearlessly wading into the tusk's acid sea. When they break, they come to you to put them back together, and in time, they learn to fix themselves. They wander far afield. You see less of them, but they are never far from your thoughts. And on the rare occasion they return, they always bring you something beautiful and strange. The sounds of celebration pull you out of reverie. Many are waiting to greet you with open arms. You take a moment to catch your breath and savor it, because everything is about to change.